and welcome to Andy Dennert's Reality Blurred. I'm the aforementioned Andy, the creator of Reality Blurred, and a writer who believes in the power of true stories. On today's show, well, no introduction at all, because we're just getting right into it, because this is going to be an abbreviated episode. This is a week when I had a lot planned, and I'm very excited about all that's coming in the reality TV world, starting tonight, Wednesday, February 25th, as I record this, with the 3-hour premiere of Survivor 50. And then tomorrow we have the finale of The Traitors and its reunion. And then also, just for funsies, Peacock is also giving us all 8 hours of The Traitors UK Season 4, which I'm extremely excited to watch, and I will absolutely not be watching a minute of probably until this weekend. That's just some of the reality TV coming too. We have 3 hours of the new season of House of Villains, also on Peacock, also on Thursday. We have the end of Beast Game Season 2 this week, and much more in terms of like continuing shows like Below Deck, etc. It's a wonderful time to be a reality TV fan, and I had a lot that I was thinking about doing for this episode, and then I kind of ran out of time to do this episode because I was working on other things, in part in preparation for the Survivor 50th anniversary, or the 50th season. I guess it's maybe both. Yeah, we've passed 25 years now. We're coming up on 26, but it's an anniversary nevertheless. This is one of those things as a little peek behind the Reality Blurred / Andy brain curtain. I have ambitious plans and I can come up with new ideas in a moment. My task list app is full of things that I'm just like, ooh, I could do that, or I could do this. And some of those I try, and some of those I never get to, and that's okay. The thing that is really kind of a struggle, I guess, week to week sometimes, is that I plan to do something and then have no idea how long that's actually going to take me. For example, this week I republished, or actually published for the first time, full transcripts of interviews with 4 Survivor Heroes vs. Villains players from 30 seasons ago when they were going to Samoa to compete on that season. And all 4 of them are now on season 50 of Survivor. So I thought it'd be interesting to look back to see what they said, what we could see. And 2 of them haven't played Survivor since. So more than 16 years, 50. I'm forgetting the math right now, but it's been 30 seasons. So quite a long time since they've been back. And I planned that in my week, and I put that on my schedule. I was like, great, I'm going to do that on Tuesday morning. And then, of course, Tuesday night rolls around, and I'm like, maybe at 15th of the way into the process, or that's a little unfair. Maybe I was like 1/5 in and thinking that I completely had no idea how much time this was going to take. This is something that I've gotten a name, or I've learned a name for recently. It's time blindness. It's something that affects people with ADHD, and I imagine others as well. But it's basically the inability to tell how long something is going to take, or including like driving someplace or getting ready to go. And I am so bad at this, and I always have been my entire life. And it's so delightful just to know that it has a name and that other people do it too. So I just am really bad at estimating how much time something's going to take. So I thought, I can do all 4 of these interviews on Tuesday morning and then go on to do this thing for The Traitors and this thing for Survivor and record my podcast and et cetera, et cetera. And it did not work out that way. So I'm trying to learn from that, just knowing that things will take longer. I think one technique is to basically plan that everything will take twice as long. And that's a good idea, though sometimes I do that. I'm like, that's ridiculous. It's not going to take twice as long. And so then I'm like, it'll take half that time. And then, of course, it does not. But enough about me. Just to come back to the reality TV week that we're having, to throw in my usual recommendations here, I just want to recommend Survivor Season 50 and its 3-hour premiere tonight, if only because I think this is going to be a season people will be talking about. From what I've seen on social media, a lot of people are maybe tuning in for the first time or the first time in a while. Like I've seen multiple comments from people on threads and just kind of saying like, oh yeah, like I've seen a lot about this Survivor 50, like my family and I are going to watch it. And I was like, wow, that's amazing that you're tuning in for the first time this late in the game. But also welcome. I think it's going to be an absolutely batshit crazy season as well, which is another reason I'm excited and recommending it, if only because we get to talk together about what the fuck the Jimmy Fallon idol is and what Mr. Beast is going to do there with his Mr. Beast briefcase and how much Jeff Probst is going to fawn over his rich white friends. All of that stuff is going to be thrilling to talk about, I'm sure. I'm also hoping that we get a lot of really great Survivor gameplay from these returning players who are a mix of people that I'm excited to see again, people that I completely forgot about, even though that they were on Survivor a year ago, and some people who I don't think should be on TV at all anymore based on their social media. And you can read more on Reality Blurred about that, and I'll link to some of that in the show notes as well. So yes, Survivor Season 50, CBS, and then of course on Paramount+. And this season of The Traitors is coming to an end. I'm excited to talk about that too, and definitely recommend this season, if only because I think there's been a really interesting arc that one player, Rob, has had. He's from Love Island, so I think in many ways got discounted, including by me, right away. And he's played a game kind of similar to Cerise from season 1, though not as deftly at all. And he's also benefited clearly from a lot of privilege from being a hot white guy who everyone is basically like, he's too cute, he could never be a traitor. I think I'm paraphrasing here, but Kristen Kish, of all people, who's been really astute in this game, said something like that. And it's fascinating to see how people in a game where there's basically no information at all apply that to, just apply like the lack of information and just try to figure things out. And I think it's revealing about unconscious bias, and just like the groups that people belong to, including reality TV show groups, like the idea that housewives would never vote against each other. The housewives always stick together is kind of hilarious and also ludicrous, and yet people are judging the housewives based on that. Same with the quote unquote gamers. It's like for some reason, people who've been on Survivor and Big Brother are much more of a threat than people who have not been, even though they're playing the same game. And we've seen repeatedly people not from Survivor and Big Brother win and make it to the end. So it's just an interesting window into social dynamics, in addition to just kind of a fun game. Johnny Weir and Tara Lipinski, who did a phenomenal job at the Olympics and during the closing ceremonies, and are just a delightful pair who I think we should see much more often on our televisions. They are still in the running, and I'm really excited to see what happens. If they make it to the end and or win, it will be amazing, hilarious, and wild because they are so bad at this game. And maybe that kind of explains what you need to win this, which is you shouldn't be second guessing a lot of things that other players tend to do. And they're so clueless, it's actually helped them. So that's The Traitors on Peacock, finale coming on Thursday at 9 p.m. And then The Traitors UK Season 4 is my third and final recommendation. I have not watched it. I've only seen what people have commented on Reality Blurred, just kind of referencing things without spoiling them, people who in the UK who've already seen it. And then the discourse from the UK, just that this was a really fascinating season, especially in that we're going to get to see the secret traitor twist played out, but in a completely different way, because of course they don't have Taylor Swift's future mother-in-law as a cast member, and they're not going to make her the secret traitor and then have her disappear in the middle of a challenge and just exit without explaining any of the things that she did, which was the weirdest part of the season so far. So those are my 3 recommendations. That's what's happening this week. I'm excited to talk to you all about it. There's a ton of stuff on realityblurred.com right now that I've been working on and producing when I have actually finished my tasks and projects. So I hope you read a lot of it. I will link to some of it in the show notes. So check your podcast app now in the details or episode description section and find some articles to read and add to your list for tonight and the next couple of days. I look forward to hearing what you think, and I will see you back here in your podcast app next week, and of course on Reality Blurred in the interim. Okay, I was wondering if I could do this and let the theme song play for the entire episode, but I just looked at the timer and that's not impossible. I've actually talked for 9 minutes somehow, so it's almost a normal length podcast, and I thought it was going to be really quick. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Feel free to send me your feedback, questions, and thoughts. And if you're in a 5-star mood, just tap those in your podcast app of choice because it really helps other people find my work, find this podcast, and find this community. Our theme song is Cheery Monday by Kevin MacLeod, and this episode is by me, Andy Dennert, and is copyright 2026 by Reality Blurred LLC, which is also me. You can find me at realityblurred.com and andydennert.com. I'll leave you now with life advice from reality TV, this time from somebody who I don't even know because I didn't plan this beforehand, so I'm just going to stop recording and drop something in, and it'll be a complete surprise to you and to me.
It's harder the further we go because we get closer and closer, and everyone's becoming friends. This castle is madness. You can never trust anyone except Tara Lipinski.